We finally have our ALCS matchup, the Mariners versus the Blue Jays. First off, we obviously have to talk about what was one of the all-time classics, Game 5 of the ALDS between the Tigers and the Mariners. We're currently recording about 10, 15 minutes after that game ended at 1:30 in the morning for you guys because, wow, all-time classic. From pitch one, you were like, I think this has the possibility to be just a legendary game.
It was too. And the funny thing is, the way we thought it was going to be a legendary game, and the way this seemed like a legendary game for 7 or 8 innings, is not the legendary game it became. Because you're like, wow, pitchers duel, Scooble versus Kirby, everything on the line. Mariners haven't been to the ALCS in 24, 25 years. They kept saying it. And then you get to that spot, and you're tied 2-2 with some crazy heroics, Leo Rivas, Kerry Carpenter,
On
and
his
then all this
birthday.
on his birthday, Leo Rivas, and all of a sudden both those pitchers are out, and you have Tyler Halton and Will Vest working out of crazy jams, and Matt Brash with sweepers, and Andres Munoz not throwing strikes, still getting guys out, and then Gilbert and Bizarro. That was such a spectacularly unbelievable baseball game, especially if you love pitching, and one that you have to think back to the 2018 World Series to get something similar to that. We also had the 2022 wild card game between the Astros and Mariners, but just amazing.
Yeah, it was nice to be not a fan of either team in that
Yeah.
game because I'd be ripping my hair out. Like, could you imagine what it felt like from both sides? One, I feel for Tigers fans. Like, we dunked on the Phillies, we dunked on the Yankees. No interest in dunking on the Tigers for this one. Like, that is a heartbreaking loss to play 15 innings like that. The bullpen was cash money. You just couldn't get the big hits when you needed it with guys on. But then you shut the Mariners down for 14 innings. Like, you just lost. And that's almost the worst part of it all is you can't look back and be like, we should have done this, we should have done that. Both teams had opportunities, didn't get them, but the Mariners end up victorious. Sick game. And Tarek Skubal with an all-time start as well. I think that was the most strikeouts in a winner-take-all game in MLB history, which is crazy.
And he didn't even throw 100 pitches.
No, of course not.
I think that to me, like, I'm happy that we got so deep in the game that the starting pitcher discourse got to dissipate a bit, but
Yes.
I think there was a lot more attention on George Kirby being pulled because he got pulled with 66 pitches, which is crazy before Kerry Carpenter at bat. He eventually did wind up hitting a home run off the lefty, Gabe Spire anyway. But Scooble coming out, I was honestly shocked. I thought he had 120 in him for this game. I think he probably would have told you the same. And you look back, it's not the reason they lost, of
No.
course, but Kyle Finnegan did pretty promptly allow a situation to take hold where a run would be given up, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, you would think that would keep him in as long as he physically could in a winner-take-all game, but I don't know. Maybe that's also you. Maybe you can't, knowing that you have the Blue Jays coming up on Sunday, and you're like, I can't have Tarek Skubal not be sharp if we are to make it to the next round when we have a lead.
Well, that all went out the window anyway because
Yeah, of course, yeah.
each of these teams used half of their starting rotations to get through this game anyway. Especially the Mariners used 3 different starting pitchers in this game. They have Bryce Miller now lined up to start Game 1 against the
Yeah,
Blue Jays, but
nobody is happier than the Blue Jays though right now.
I can't even imagine how much fun it must have been for the Blue Jays to watch this game, being like, "Yeah, use another guy and another guy."
And
Imagine,
another one.
imagine having a 50-1 Blue Jays World Series ticket right now. Imagine those guys.
Must feel pretty good. Oh wait, that's us. We have that ticket. What a call by us.
Also, again, when Scoobo was ending, that last pitch to Cal Raleigh was 101 miles an hour. He threw another 101 mile an hour to Randy Rosarena.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gassed.
Didn't seem gassed at all. He's also not a guy that really goes over 100 pitches that often, so I think that may have played into it. But I think you'll look back at that as Tigers fans and be like, if he went one more inning, this whole thing might have just been different. If he hands
Could
the
have been.
ball to Will Vest, you might just win the game in before extras.
Yeah, because what a job by Will Vest too.
I almost said regulation. My brain is busted.
Regulation. I mean, that's what happens when we're recording at 1:30 in the morning. It was a insane game. Shout out the Mariners making it to the ALCS. Another one in the books for me. I think you picked the Mariners too, though. So
Yeah, shout out Edward Bizarro.
Bizardo. He was nails.
He pitched every game this series.
He pitched every game.
5 games in 7 days. He pitched them all.
Dog.
Animal. And he threw the second most pitches of any Mariners pitcher in this game besides George Kirby. And it was only 27 pitches fewer than Kirby.
It's a fun matchup because the Blue Jays have all the dog on offense, not so much on the pitching side. The Mariners have all the dogs on the pitching side. I mean, they have a good offense still, but like in that game again, it was like he had every opportunity and nobody could get the big hit, but the pitchers stepped the hell up.
And you saw it, though, in this game where people kind of talk about, I think people, especially in the fantasy baseball world, talk about how much of a pitcher's haven T-Mobile Park is in Seattle, formerly Safeco Field. And this game where you see how many balls that went to the warning track, and it was just impossible to get one out unless your name is Kerry Carpenter. And it's just, It's some people say that T-Mobile Field is kind of like the opposite. It does for pitchers what Coors Field does for hitters. And a game like this, where you go inning after inning after inning after inning, and no one can push that run across, you can kind of start to feel that.
Yeah, the amount of fly balls that I thought were gone off the bat that didn't even come close. So I was like, dang, like balls just die out here, which is a huge advantage for the Mariners because one, their pitching is good, but two, with that big outfield, with the way that that ball travels, you can neutralize some offenses at times.
Yeah, I also want to say, quick callback. Only 3 times the regular season, Terry Schoolbo went over 100 pitches.
So it's just not something he really does.
It's not something he does. But yeah, this is now really, I think, probably the most fun, the coolest championship series in the AL we possibly could have had. Both these teams have massive droughts of reaching the World Series. Both of these teams have really rabid and fun fan bases and
They
very.
hate each other too.
Why, really?
Yeah, because Blue Jays fans pack T-Mobile Park when they play in
Oh,
Seattle.
yeah.
And Mariners fans, I think, I don't want to say like talk trash because I think people in Seattle are, I mean, they're crying when they tie the game. I don't think there's a mean person that lives in Seattle.
I've never seen more fans inside any sports stadium cry ever during a game where there was no result yet. Like sometimes
No.
after the championship or a clincher, you see people start to cry. But
Oh, what was our guy at Murphy's when Lindor hit the home run? Do you remember what his name was?
I don't remember his
He
name. I
was
remember his hair,
hysterically
but not his
crying,
name.
but that I kept getting flashbacks to that of just like head in the hands, hysterically crying. But there's not a lot of love between these two teams, especially because Canada is so close to Seattle, and while Toronto is not close to Seattle, they have one team in the entire country, and everybody in that country roots for the Blue Jays. So this is a crazy series, not only because of that factor of the Canada, Seattle, how close it is, but also in terms of travel. This is, I think, one of the furthest traveling series between games that you could possibly have in a season.
Yeah, I mean, with Seattle, no matter who they play,
Yeah.
you're going to get the furthest travel you could ever have. But it's just, again, I like that we're going to have a series like this where for so many years it was just Yankees Astros or
New
some
teams.
combination over and over again. There's a lot of new blood here. Someone's going to the World Series for the first time in a long time. And you're going to get to see new players who are really fun players on big stages, this level of stage for the first time. Some of them in their career, some have been to this level before, but it's nice to have new heroes and like have these new stories be written.
Yeah, it is very cool to be able to build new superstars too. Like I think baseball people know Vlad Jr. is a superstar, but I think maybe the casual fan who tunes in for the postseason might be like, "This he's really good, Vlad Guerrero Jr." Like I remember his dad; he's amazing. And then on the Mariners side, J. Rod and Cal Raleigh getting some national recognition because Seattle never does, being out in the Pacific Northwest. Huge for Cal Raleigh, who's had one of the best seasons we've ever seen, especially from the catcher position.
I mean, same with these pitchers, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. If Brian Wu was healthy, I think that's also the biggest deal
Yes.
going into this series because you just burned Kirby, Gilbert, Castillo, all in one guy. I mean, Castillo only threw 15 pitches and Gilbert only threw 34, so you probably figure one of those guys is ready for game two. But game one, you're staring down the barrel of Bryce Miller right now, who's been a shell of himself, and he just pitched on Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, he's gonna be on what? That's 3 days rest.
No, he pitched Wednesday, so he took off
Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, it'd be 3 days rest.
Yeah,
That's your best option.
yeah, you have no other choice unless Brian Woo's miraculously okay.
Yeah, and Brian Wu, we don't know if he's okay. It's been really quiet about him. He had the pectoral strain, which Brian Wu is just so yoked up that he always gets like these tight muscle strains. But the pectoral could really quickly go to that shoulder. Then all of a sudden you're in for an issue. But he is as good as all these Mariners pitchers are. I think pound for pound right now, we could confidently say Wu is the best one. So if he is ready,
You think so?
I think after this year, it's between him and Gilbert.
That's
But
what I was gonna
he's
say. Gilbert, I still might give it to Gilbert a little bit. I know you are a Woo guy, and it's not that I'm anti
Woo,
Woo. I'm not anti Woo,
Woo.
but Gilbert is like,
No, I think they both are. I have a soft spot for Wu because he's such an artisan on there. Like Gilbert is Gilbert's like a moose. Like you know how the
yeah,
Seattle Mariners
exactly.
mascot's a moose. That is Logan.
And he's
Gilbert
also
right
like
there.
6'10" or whatever he is.
He's like 6'8" and he has like a 7.5 foot extension. Like he's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But Wu is just like an athlete, and I love that Wu is like a lunatic. Like if Wu gets to pitch in this series, I think he's another one of these guys that can become a star because watching him play. Like when he's on the mound, he's screaming and yelling and like pounding his chest. He leaves the mound, he's on the top, he's on the rail, screaming, yelling out there. Like he's got energy. I think that's a fun guy in a playoff series.
You also got to assume too he's gonna be very limited, even if he can pitch, because he hasn't pitched in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, totally. Unless he's been throwing. I mean, again, in this kind of game, you go balls to the wall,
Yes.
all out. You got to do it. I don't know what they're going to do next.
No, because the guy, it felt like every single person that could have ever thrown a pitch threw a pitch, and
Yeah.
you're going to rely on Bryce Miller to hopefully get 5 for you in game one. But it does give a huge advantage to the Blue Jays
Massive.
Blue Jays won the season series, 6 games. Blue Jays won 4, Mariners won 2. But the games are all close. Like these are
Yeah,
relatively
it doesn't matter.
similar-ish teams. I don't think on paper you can look at either team and say definitively that one team is better than the other, especially with the series that we just saw. But the Blue Jays are coming in again. It's the opposites for these teams. The Blue Jays hit. The Blue Jays are going to mash you to death. That's their game. You don't want to get to the bullpen if you're the Blue Jays because the bullpen is horrendous. It's shaky. I think every Blue Jays fan, when they see those guys come in, you're nervous. You should be nervous. They just aren't that sharp right now. Whereas for the Mariners, the offense feels a little bit sketchy right now, but the bullpen and the starting rotation is so money that as long as you keep that game close, you give yourself a shot.
Totally. And something's going to happen here for the Blue Jays, similarly to what happened with them against the Yankees last round, where, like we just talked about, game one, you're kind of going to get a pumpkin.
Yes.
Like you're either getting Bryce Miller 3 days rest, you're getting Brian Wu hasn't pitched in 2 weeks, or you're going to get Emerson Hancock, who you're probably going to tee off on. So you have a chance where if you're the Blue Jays for the second series in a row to have a huge advantage in game one, and you win that game, you can take a stranglehold immediately on the series.
And also the Blue Jays just get to completely reset their playoff rotation too.
100%.
You've got Gausman, you've got Savage. I'm assuming they're going to put one of Scherzer or Bassett on the roster now if they're healthy and good to go because
They're saying
7-game
Bassett's
series.
probably healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who's the fourth option? Why am I blanking? Oh, Shane Bieber. Yeah, who looked horrible. So
yeah, but you still got that. But again, I think that's different for Shane Bieber against his Mariners offense, probably in game 3 when you go back to Seattle than against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, what's the AL Central's record against the AL West? Do they have as much trouble as they do against the Yankees?
I'll break that one down if the time comes. We also have some roster rumors. Mike Wilner, who's part of, I don't know if he's part of Blue Jays media, but he was on Foul Territory a few days ago, and he said that there's a world where because Bo Bichette can't really play the field, and he's looking to be activated because I think he can hit, he might be taking Anthony Santander's roster spots. They can keep IKF so they can have another shortstop on the roster. I don't know if I buy that at all.
I hate that.
Yeah, I think you keep
IKF stinks. He's not a good baseball player.
Big deal for IKF this series, who will not be stepping foot in Yankee Stadium.
True. He might be okay. He might be okay.
That helps his game a lot, but it's a funny thing now because there's so many unanswered questions about what these two rosters will look like. Like the Mariners could shake up a ton of things, like after the way this game went, honestly.
Could they?
Like, I don't know, because just if you think you need innings, this series starts from when we're recording this right now. We have how many hours? We have
like 39 or something like that.
40-ish hours until the series begins. That is so fast. You got to turn this around like that.
And
what are you going to do?
They fly to Toronto to start,
yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, they'll be in Toronto tomorrow.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's like a 5-hour flight across the country right after playing a 5-hour baseball game is crazy. They might do it in the morning, I'm assuming. They might let them sleep.
I think that maybe it's like tomorrow afternoon so you can get the full night's sleep in Toronto. But like this is such a quick turnaround. I was even watching them do the celebration. I was like, you guys sure?
Yeah, you're like
maybe 2 beers each, and then get ready, get to bed.
Go to sleep, get some rest, hydrate. You got a game in a few days.
Yeah. Besides Dominic Canzone, who had the funniest appearance in that crazy Game 5, where he came in, he pinch hit, they brought in a lefty, and then he came out of the game for Leo Rivas, who got the big hit.
Leo Rivas, what an unlikely character to get the go or tying hit on his birthday. That guy, I couldn't believe he did that. He's not much of a hitter.
When they were starting the champagne celebration, someone was like, "Happy birthday, Leo," and he was like, "Yeah,
it's the best birthday ever."
Also, it's an amazing story for Leo Rivas. Spent 9 years in the minor leagues, over 700 games, I think, in the upper minors, and just finally getting a shot now, getting the spot in this roster. It's a defense first guy and a switch hitter. Just again, it just goes to show you it's a cliche, but it's really you need all 26 in these series, and this game really, really to the absolute max degree showed you that.
Also, one really cool thing about the Mariners too, just a lot of homegrown guys on this roster. I know Josh Naylor and Rose Reyes, some of those guys, but you look up and down this team and it is littered, especially on the pitching side, with guys that came up through the Mariners organization.
I was gonna say, kind of not really anyone in the bullpen. Only 3 of the starters, and you get Wu. Mostly not the lineup.
Was Speyer? Oh, Speyer was on the Royals. Or
yeah,
Spire?
Spire was not.
Yeah,
he was
I was
cut
Spire
that day. Yeah. No, not a very homegrown team at all, actually. It's
Maybe
6 guys in the whole team.
Not?
No, it's 6 guys in the whole squad.
Am I crazy? Am I just thinking of the starting pitchers? Is that really what I'm thinking of?
Because Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, and Wu, it's all of them.
Yeah, and Brash.
And no.
Where did Brash come from?
Brash was a Padre. He was in one of those trades way back when.
Was he really?
One of those crazy first level Depoto Preller trades. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was he like Ty France?
No, you couldn't guess who he was traded for.
It was a weird trade. It was
in
one of those
September of 2020. He was traded for Taylor Williams. I don't know who
That's
Taylor
crazy.
Williams is.
Is that another reliever?
That's just he made 6 total appearances for the Padres.
Munoz came from the Padres as
I
well.
knew that one, yeah.
Yeah. But
I still can't believe Patrick Mazika hit a home run off that guy. He's unbelievable.
I mean, but this is a classic Jerry DiPolo roster. It's just Mr. Trade. That's how it goes. Again, I'm happy that we're again. This is a fun matchup.
This is fun. This is really fun. It's pitching versus hitting.
Yeah, and as everyone keeps throwing all the praise on the Blue Jays because they're so contact oriented, never strike out, everyone should read the great article written by Mike Petrell, MLB.com, that came out on Friday about how much power the Blue Jays have acquired this year and how that's gotten them over the hump. Because
Yeah, the swing speed's way up, and we know that when you swing the bat hard, you have the ability to hit the ball harder. And what's cool, and you saw the Red Sox do this a lot with the prospects. It worked for Christian Campbell for a little bit. It's working for guys like Roman Anthony and such, where when you make a lot of contact, you can all of a sudden start to raise the bat speed, because as you raise the bat speed, you'll hit the ball harder. And if you already have good bat to ball skills, good hand-eye coordination, they trust that you're actually not going to go up in whiff rate to an unsustainable level.
Yeah, I want to shout out the Blue Jays hitting coach, David Popkins, because when April began, they had the worst bat speed in all of baseball. And by the end of the year, they had nearly the top average bat speed in all of baseball.
That's big.
It's going to show how important coaches are and how, again, a team like the Blue Jays, who are a very contact-oriented team, when you can add that bat speed. Right now, they're having one of the most power-driven postseason runs, at least in the Yankee series, that we've ever seen.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, that they're winning with contact.
It's barrels, it's hard hit balls. They're crushing the ball, home runs, it's everything, and that's going to be how you're going to do this series. It's strength on strength, like you said. Vlad, Springer, Barger, Kirk, Varsho, Ernie Clement, they'll go, and then whenever Gilbert, Kirby, and Castillo are ready, it's them.
Oh, what are we doing with this one, James? How are you feeling about your prediction? Because I'll tell you what, I don't really have a take on this one. I know what I'm going to pick because, again, I've made my predictions, and my predictions have looked pretty good on the American League side so far. I had this matchup in the ALCS. I think I'm perfect. Oh, no, I had the Red Sox. I was almost perfect.
Yeah, I have a chance to backdoor 3 out of the 4 in the DS if the Cubs can pull it off on Saturday somehow, some way. But just based on the way the Mariners pitching is lined up right now, unless we get a miraculous announcement for Brian Wu, I just think the Blue Jays have a massive advantage. Like, they can go Gausman, Yasavage, Bieber, Bassett bullpen, Gausman, Yasavage, Bieber bullpen.
Yeah.
That's 7. And right now with that 7, when you don't really know when you're going to get any of these big guys pitching for the Mariners, that's huge because you're going to have game 2 on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, even the guys that pitch today, like,
who is going to pitch on Monday?
They'll probably have to be Castillo because he only threw 15 pitches today. But that's
unless
still,
you consider that like a Gilbert bullpen day, which
he threw
30.
Could be. Yeah. I get it. A guy like Gilbert, you probably give him the ball because he probably demands it, and he's a tree, so it doesn't really matter.
Probably
but
okay.
Still, that's 2 days off after 30 pitches. When you're throwing max intensity, and he dropped down those last couple of pitches when he was pitching. That was the 13th inning.
Yeah,
I kind of forget now. He dropped down to about 94 for a few of those final fastballs. So he clearly
hits.
Yes, he clearly didn't have a lot of gas in that tank. I still have the Baseball Savant page up. Skubal had 26 swings and misses in this game.
Oh, that's incredible.
He's so good. But also, it's funny looking back. All the ace talk that always happens this time of year. The Tigers lost 2 of the both Skubal starts this series.
I know, it's great. I jinxed
It's ridiculous.
I jinxed the fuck out of the Tigers.
Yeah, you kind of did.
That's on me. I want the
Mariners
to win.
Shout out to 2 Mariners fans I was hanging out with in standings.
Oh, nice.
On Thursday afternoon, that was. Was that Thursday or was that Wednesday? Oh, they're all blending together. But
Wednesday,
of course. Yeah, Wednesday because the off day Thursday. These dudes were, and again, I think rightfully so, celebrating, moving on the series because can't hate on the way the Tigers came back, especially in that game 4. That was pretty amazing what they did. Riley Green and Gleyber Torres.
After getting booed.
Yeah, after getting booed for some reason, inexplicably. But these guys were celebrating. I think rightfully. And I was like, man, you guys, Blue Jays, can be a great series. And then we all just jinxed them. And I was there with some of my friends who were in town from college. One's a Cubs fan. And Javi hit that home run. This guy had no dog in the fight, no money on the game. And he goes, yeah, Javi, come on. And these two Mariners fans look at him with death in their eyes.
Yes, that's crazy.
It was a sad moment, but it's funny.
All right,
shout out those guys now.
Prediction, James. Where are you going?
Blue Jays in 6.
Okay. I mean, I hate to be boring too and take the Blue Jays too, but I'm going to go Blue Jays in 6 as well. I don't want to say 7.
I don't want to be boring, but be as boring as possible.
I mean, listen, again in my predictions, this was the ALCS that I had, and I picked the Blue Jays to win it all. So as long as the Blue Jays are moving on, they're going to be my World Series prediction as well. If they are. And we also, again, we have a 5,000 to 1 bet, or a 5,000, a plus 5,000. I wish it was 5,000 to 1. It's getting late. It's
Jeez.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
I wish it was that. We got a 50 to 1 odds plus 5,000 bet on the day that the season ended last year, the day that the World Series ended. Me and James pick a plus 5,000 winner. We picked the Blue Jays. It's looking pretty good. So financially, and also just for my ego, go Blue Jays. In my heart, I hope the Mariners win, because the Mariners are the Mets of the West.
Yeah. And also just another crazy note about this game. From you said it before to me, from the 7th to the 14th inning, there were like
Yes.
7 total fastballs thrown by the Mariners.
Yeah, after Gabe Spire came out of the game, the Mariners threw 77 pitches at one point, and only
After
five.
the home run to Kerry Carpenter.
Yes, and they threw 77 pitches. 5 of them were fastballs.
That is unbelievable.
Like, there were sliders, there were splitters, there were curveballs, but 5 fastballs.
Four-seam fastballs.
No, 4-seam, sinker, cutter, whatever, any way you spin it, 5 of them.
Yeah, so from Gabe Spire until Edward Bizardo, 5
Yeah,
fastballs.
how crazy is that?
That's ridiculous.
And
Matt
then
Brash didn't throw
Bizardo,
one.
was throwing those nasty sinkers. I didn't know he had
Bizardo's
movement like
gross.
that.
No, Bizardo's gross. And they didn't even get to use Carlos Vargas in this game. He'll be the
No.
first guy out of the pen in game 1. Oh my gosh. What a series.
What a series.
Shout out Kerry Carpenter. He tried to do everything himself.
Kerry Bonds is a dog.
He was on base 6 times in the game, with the Tigers were on base like 17 total times
Yeah.
in 15 innings.
And
What an animal.
your Ohio State boy, Dylan Dingler, too. Another great
Yeah,
game.
Dylan
What a
Dingler.
throw, too, on that.
And
And what a
Cal
throw
Raleigh.
by Cal Raleigh. God, good baseball.
2 of the best throws I've ever seen a catcher make. It goes to show, again, 26 guys in a playoff series like this. You need everything.
I'll tell you this, way more interested in this ALCS than whatever happens in the National League, because we know it's the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the game 5 because the Brewers Cubs,
Yes.
that's serious. And yeah, I'm bringing another Buckeye with me to the ALCS, Dominic Canzone.
There you go. James is
Love
happy.
that.
Buckeyes are happy. And those are our predictions. Blue Jays in 6. Really hate that we agree on
Tandem.
it, but that's sometimes we're going to get a little hive mind over here. Guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Windup. We appreciate all the new subscribers we've gotten on the last few videos. We're not going to be a daily channel ever, but we do love being able to get you this content as much as possible when baseball season's kicking like this. So we appreciate everybody subscribing. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Giraffe Nick Mark with a C. You can also check out all our socials. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We do appreciate it down below our faces. And we will catch you guys all, I think,
Soon.
tomorrow?
Yeah, worst
Yeah.
case scenario, Monday.
Yeah, we're going to do an NLCS preview prediction as well. So keep an eye
Yep.
out for that. We'll catch you guys then. Peace out.